Microsoft, $3.3 trillion company. If there's one thing that they're successful at, it's creating failures in their mobile division. You had the original Windows Phone, which was some Windows CE Pocket PC kind of thing. Then you had the real Windows Phone, which was Windows shrunk down on a phone with barely any apps to use. And when that all failed, Microsoft tried to switch to Android, which, let's be real, must be insanely embarrassing for them, as they quite literally are a company who got successful from selling Windows. But you see, if Microsoft's going to be forced into using Android, they're not just going to make a regular Android smartphone. No, they're going to give you double the smartphone. They're going to give you a dual screen smartphone and they're going to call it the Surface Duo. The original Surface Duo released in 2020 to middling reviews. The concept of the device was actually fairly solid, it's just that Android doesn't really like running on multiple displays. And the software experience was half-baked with many bugs. Long story short, it didn't sell very well. The problem is though, they spent a whole bunch of money developing this product and they weren't just gonna let it all go to waste. After all, the Surface Neo that they were working on alongside the Surface Duo didn't work out and never saw the light of day. In 2021, Microsoft released the Surface Duo 2, which received even worse reviews and even worse sales, which is a damn shame because the concept of the Surface Duo is actually pretty solid, it just wasn't ever executed properly. Compared to the first gen model, the main improvements were a faster processor, curved displays on the inside of the hinge, and some improved cameras, which led to the device having a massive camera bump on the back. This actually made the device a little bit worse to use, and we'll get into why a little bit later. The Surface Duo 2 launched with Android 11 and can be upgraded all the way to Android 12. Really? Is that it? Wow, okay. Cool. Microsoft stopped manufacturing the device in 2023 and pulled software support in October 2024. So this begs a question, what sort of stuff can you do with the Surface Duo 2? Let's have a look at this nifty but flawed little device. Starting off with the exterior design, every single surface on this thing, get it, is made of glass, so make sure you don't drop it because it will shatter. The device is incredibly thin when opened up, it's only about 4.8mm, and that's right, it's thinner than the Galaxy S25 Edge. On the right side, you've got a volume rocker and a power button. The power button also doubles as a fingerprint scanner. And on the bottom, you've got your SIM tray and your USB-C port, which barely has enough space to exist here. But the biggest difference you'll notice compared to the first gen is that the Surface Duo 2 has a massive camera bump on the back. Unfortunately, while it does take better photos, the photos still aren't that fantastic and the camera bump really hinders the usability of this device, because on the Surface Duo 1, you used to be able to fold it perfectly flat, but now you can't anymore. Whenever you fold the device back, you have this massive gap, which just feels wrong. But the biggest feature of this device are the two internal screens, which is why this thing is called the Surface Duo, of course. The biggest difference here, at least compared to the first gen, is that the Surface Duo 2 actually has curved edges on the inside of the displays, helping to minimize the bezel between the two screens. It also allows you to see your notifications while the display is closed, kinda like an always-on display, and it can even show you how charged your device is when you plug it in. This stuff is a little bit gimmicky, but honestly, I really like it. Well, that's the hardware, but what about the software? How does Android operate on two separate screens like this? And what sort of stuff did Microsoft do to make this work? Let's have a little look. But wait a second. Is this just one big segue to our sponsor? Have you ever sat in a meeting or lecture and just wish that you could have the entire boring thing narrated and summarized for you? Well, now you can with this video's sponsor, PLAUD, and their AI note taker, the PLAUD Note. This device is shockingly thin, even thinner than the Surface Duo 2, and it's built out of an aluminium alloy, giving it an insanely good build quality. With this device, you can easily record your voice or even calls by attaching it to the back of your phone with MagSafe. You can have your audio transcribed into 112 different languages and have them easily summarized using various AI models such as ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. I was simply doing a microphone test with this device and it gave me a checklist of things to do after the fact based on what I said. It also provides you with a full transcript of your recording, and in addition to that, a mind map which categorizes all of the topics you have talked about in an easy to see view. Very nifty. You can even directly ask AI to get more information about your transcribed recording, saving you even more time to get right to the information you're looking for. It does all of this while being almost as small as a credit card and still manages to fit a haptic motor inside the device, so you know when you've started and stopped the recording. And since it's a separate device from your phone, it doesn't consume any of your phone's battery while recording, and on top of that, your phone storage also isn't affected too. And this also allows you to have peace of mind knowing that the recording won't be interrupted by anything on your device as well. If this sounds like something you'd like, feel free to pick up your own PLAUD Note using the link in the description below. I also get a small kickback if you purchase with that link too, so you'll be supporting me in the process as well. Alrighty-o, here is the Surface Duo 2, and let's take a look at some of its quirks and features. Now, without even opening the device, there are already some interesting software quirks and features, such as the side here, which I previewed just a little bit before, where even when the thing's closed, because the screen's curved, you can just press this button and look at that, you can see the time. And of course, here's a demonstration of when you plug it in. You can see how charged it is. How nifty is that? Anyways, let's get to actually using the device. It can be a little hard to open sometimes. And of course, to unlock the device, you simply just rest your thumb on the fingerprint scanner and it works beautifully. Here we are greeted with our home menu. You can swipe between the pages, see all your upcoming tasks and stuff. Some people have actually said that they found this really useful. I haven't signed in for obvious reasons. Pretty much just swipes one half of the page at a time. So it's pretty much the same as folding the device back and then just swiping like this. You pretty much get the same experience. And you can actually choose which display you want to become your main display, because if I fold this, it knows that it's facing upwards this way and it chooses this screen. Although if you flip it over, see, it's meant to come up with a little thing on the screen for when you flip it over, but mine just doesn't want to do it. It's meant to know when you flipped it over and when you wanted to switch screens, but yeah, it doesn't want to work. The only way I really found to make it work is to just fold it to the screen that you want in the first place. I can still show you what the menu looks like if I fold it, then flip it, double tap. There you go, now you can switch screens, and yeah, it only really does that once. Launching apps is pretty simple. You either tap the one on your home screen or you just swipe up here, or you can swipe up here and you can just launch an app on whichever screen you want, and look at those little icons move around, haha. So let's just say you need to open up the system settings. We can go in here and we can open up system settings. I didn't want it to open on this screen. We can just take this and swipe it onto the other screen, swipe it back. We can go to the Play Store and it just opens up on that screen. Maybe you want to look at the time real quick, we can swipe it over. And then we can actually swipe it back and it keeps it open, which is nice and handy. Although as soon as you open up something else, it's going to then forget all about the Play Store. And yeah, you can see a few quirks of Android where it kind of pops things on one random screen or the other. It can be a bit weird at times. And it's just trying to learn this user interface can be a bit weird. Like, for example, if I lift this menu up and I try to swipe away the Google Play Store, oh, now it's on this screen. Of course, you can close the device if you just want to use this on one screen like a normal phone. It is honestly quite wide, and I will say the camera bump does make the ergonomics of this device a bit wonky compared to the first gen, especially when you're holding it on this side. You have just this massive gap here and it becomes this really chunky thing. And you do kind of also need to be careful not to bend this as well. They clearly intended for it. Look at the angle of that black bit on the camera bump. It's meant to fit perfectly. But I really feel like they should have added something here to stop this from happening. This seems like a really bad idea with all the glass that's here. And in this mode, yeah, you can pretty much just use it as a phone. You can place it down on the table, but now you're starting to scratch your screen. So that's probably the one downside of this. This device absolutely needs a case/screen protector because it's just screen, glass everywhere. But if you don't mind absolutely ruining your screen, you could do all sorts of interesting stuff like placing it down on the table and angling it to face you. This could actually come in handy as a little secondary device just to sit here and display something for you, or it's actually really good for video calls because you can just place it down and angle it exactly where you want it. So there actually are a bunch of handy use cases that you can just invent for yourself, and that's what I really like about this device. And it is actually slightly more than you could do with a foldable, because with a foldable you can only really fold it like this, while on the Surface Duo you can go all the way around. Just for the sake of comparison here, I've got a Galaxy Z Fold 4 and we can open it like this, and that's about it. We can close it, and we can open it and close it. I mean, we've got the outer screen, but that's pretty much about it. We've got this really delicate inner screen that can get scratched up very, very easily. But on this guy, we can open it up, and we can keep opening it, and every screen will be nice glass, except you do have some bezel in the middle, and you can even see through it as well, which is kind of funny. You also don't have to run one app per screen. You can also span an app across both screens. For example, you can take settings here, bring it up to the middle, and now it's opened up on both displays. Now, here's where the bugs start kicking in, because it's opened up like this, but it's actually meant to look like this with a really nice dual screen design here. In general, having two screens on an Android device invents some interesting bugs. For example, if I try to change the volume and then I press the more volume option, yeah, it just shoves it all onto one screen, then opens up the volume meter, and yeah, there goes all your productivity. If you swipe down here and tap here, it just dismisses it instead of letting you use the system, which is kind of sucky, but that's just how Android works. Let's do a little bit of productivity. So a very simple productivity setup that most people would likely do is, of course, a web browser. You know, some people might choose Firefox. Unfortunately, Firefox still doesn't have a proper tablet UI. I really want to use Firefox. I got it enabled on my Z Fold 2, and I've never been able to do it again. Even Microsoft Edge, the intended browser for this device, doesn't even have a proper tablet UI. If I span this, where even is the UI on here? I don't have a UI. Where am I meant to search? Okay, what about Outlook? If I just tap on Outlook, I've got no UI, I can't actually browse the web. Yeah, this is me trying to use Microsoft Edge, the intended web browser on this device. But even then, Microsoft Edge just spans this horrible, crappy mobile UI on both displays anyway, so this is not a good experience. I'm sorry, Microsoft, but this is absolutely terrible. While we're here, we can actually see how content behind the bezel is handled. It's handled like this, kind of like a Nintendo DS, but it doesn't line up properly. Therefore, it does kind of infuriate me a little bit, but what can you do? Anyways, that was a little bit of a tangent. Let's go back to some useful use cases, such as opening up Google Chrome, getting up your website that you're doing some research on, going onto Microsoft Word, and I think it should let us create a blank document. Hell yeah. The default keyboard is SwiftKey, of course, because Microsoft owns it. It by default opens up like this, but if you have the app spanned, it'll open up like this. I'm not really the biggest fan of split keyboards. In my opinion, I think they should double up letters closer to the middle, so you're able to pick and choose which thumb you want to tap Y with. There's a bit of empty space here. I want to actually tap Y, but it won't let me. I would really recommend, if you're using it like this, to try using an external keyboard, but even then, you zoom in and now half of your letters are hidden, so your mileage may vary, I guess. Surely there's a way in Microsoft Word to do like a 2-page view here. Please tell me there's a way to do that. No? You know what? I wouldn't even be surprised. Yeah, see, what is this? What is this UI? This UI is absolutely disgusting. You'll find this a lot on the Surface Duo 2. Most apps are just mobile apps, but really wide, and they look like this. This is horrible. I hate this. I'm honestly lucky to even get Word on here anyway, because if I go onto the Play Store, let's go to Word, of course. Oh, what's this? Where's Microsoft Word? Okay, we got Microsoft OneNote. Let's go to Microsoft Corporation. Ah, here we go. Here's Word. This phone isn't compatible with this app. Yes, that's right, my friends. I had to sideload Microsoft Word onto this Surface Duo. I had to sideload it with an APK on a Microsoft device. I just cannot understand how this is even possible. Okay, well, what if you had like a document or an image or something, or you just want to draw in general with both of these screens? Well, guess what? This little guy supports the Surface Pen. Now, it's meant to be used with the Surface Slim Pen, but this is the only one I have, which is one of the older Surface Pens, but guess what? It works perfectly fine. Yeah, ignore that little hiccup. It works perfectly fine. And even though this is an older pen, you can actually still hover over items with this. It not only supports hover, but it also supports pressure sensitivity, so artists rejoice. Speaking of which, let's actually try doing a little bit of artistry. Let's do Infinite Painter. Okay, you know what, let's just close this here. Okay, let's do Infinite Painter. There we go, took a few attempts. I'll tell you now from using this device, the touchscreen on here is actually kind of trash. It misses my touches about 30% of the time. And as you can see here, we go light, we press harder. Look at our pressure sensitivity, how cool is that? I am I was gonna write I am drawing, but now the app's frozen. Infinite Painter isn't responding. Yeah, so this is kind of an issue I've been having with this app. It just doesn't work after a few minutes. So, I don't know. Oh, the app just crashed. How lovely. I also downloaded Ibis Paint X. I don't really use drawing apps on Android, so I don't really know what's good, so I just downloaded some random ones. Oh, look at that. You can see the hover feature is just working on this app. That's sick. Okay, let's press plus to create a new artwork. That one? Okay, lovely. Does this support pressure sensitivity? Oh, look at that, it does! That's sick. Can you stop giving me pop-ups, please? I just want to draw. It just undid my brush stroke, okay. You could even prop this down and sort of lift it up a little bit and kind of draw at an angle that feels right for you. You can open this up and actually have like a reference on this image and then draw over here, which is kind of sick actually. Or you can even just take the whole app, span it across, and now you're drawing on the big screen. Yeah, actually, it's probably not the best idea because you're gonna have this damn crease in the way. I mean, that being said, Samsung foldables also support the S Pen. I don't really know which experience is better, to be honest. They're very, very similar. You could even just use a Galaxy Ultra phone as well. They support it too. Let's see what the YouTube experience is like on here. Oh wait, it's already up. Here I have my YouTube channel, and let's just watch a video. Tablets. Most of the time, these runs about as well as you expected if you put it into full screen and put it this way. And put it this way. There we go. It's a little bit taller than 16:9, but honestly, this isn't too bad. Probably the best video watching aspect about this device is the fact that you can just prop it up and angle it to whatever position you want for basically as ergonomic as a viewing experience as you can really get. Of course, if this is too small for you, you can open up the device, wait for it to catch up, and then you can take the whole app, span it across, and view it like this. Of course, if you don't mind a big black bezel going down the middle of your video, then it's cool. And the speakers? Oh my god, wow, I feel old. Got a nice little carrying handle here. They're okay. They're just okay. If you want as well, you can even flip it this way and you can actually swipe up to read comments while you're watching your video, and this actually makes a lot more sense than it does on a Galaxy Fold because the screens are so much wider, you're actually going to be able to properly read comments and properly watch your video. And even then you can just pop YouTube back up here, you can put it back into full screen, and then you can just go do something else on the bottom screen. So multitasking like this, I really think is where this device properly excels at. See, I would make a joke about Microsoft Excel, but unfortunately this device can't excel at Excel. I have absolutely no idea why. If you're someone who likes reading books, well guess what? You can do that on the Surface Duo using something like the Kindle app. You can have your book on one screen, and then cooking recipes on the other screen? I don't know, I'm probably really generalizing here. But see, we haven't actually reached full e-reader potential with this device yet. To enter the true final form of e-reading on a Surface Duo, just take the app here, put it in the middle, and check this out. Now you quite literally have a book in your hands. And this just feels right. You feel like you're holding a book, you can just swipe between the pages. I know it's silly, I know it's quaint, but I like it, okay? This sort of stuff I find exciting. My one gripe with this is that I wish the page turn animation would stop here instead of going all the way off, because then it would actually feel like a real book, but you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. This is still really damn good. Oh, and the best part, when you're done reading, close it up like a real book and pack it away. I love it. I love this kind of stuff. You can check your stocks and you can see, oh, Microsoft Corp is up today. So now you're going to go into multitasking and see how much you can buy with your calculator, and you can buy, I don't know, how much should 8 times, 470 shares be? Yeah, let me spend 3,760 bucks on Microsoft shares. But let's see, you need to go over here. Yeah, let me check that, bring that back. You can just see how badly it's dropping frames right now. I have more than a few things open. It's not doing very well. I wanted to see if drag and drop works on here. So if I take this image, plop it here. Yes, that actually is so sick. You can increase the size here. We can make this guy a title. Hold on, we have to select this. We have to select No, we have to select that. Okay, then tap up here. Then we tap this. Why make this a scroll menu like this? This is horrible user design. Well, I mean, it's Microsoft Word with images, which never works the best of times on a mobile device. Just forget about it. We can type under here. This is a sentence. Sure, you know what? We'll go with that. New page. Okay, yeah, new orange. Okay, why don't we just roll with it? Let's search up... No, that's not what I wanted to search. No, I wanted to search up orange. Orange. I just want a picture of an orange. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's grab the orange, if it will let me, and let's put it in. New orange. Boom. Oh, that's not what I wanted. No, no, no. I want this image to go up here. Oh, beautiful. New orange. Let's do new orange. It's learning. It's learning. I'm making it learn. Oh, speaking of learning, what about machine learning and AI? Because Microsoft went and shoved Copilot on here. Oh wait, no, that's Microsoft 365 Copilot. No, that's just Microsoft Office, but they've renamed it. I'm going to tell you a joke. Alright, let's go Copilot. Let's put it in. Let's stretch that out nice and good. Oh yeah. Tap down here. Nope, I'm gonna have to, of course, press enter, then drag. Alright, close the keyboard, wait for it to... No. No. Okay, now we can click into it. Let's do that's the joke. Laugh. What? Lassitude? I don't know what that means. Do we want it that way or do we want it that way? I think I want it that way. That's how I intended. And now when we want to display our beautiful presentation, we bring it up like this. Wait for it to load. We're gonna span it like this. Now we can view our Word document. All right, beautiful. That's our first page. New orange, so yummy. As you can see, fits beautifully on this page. Totally no distracting bezels going down the middle. And then we scroll down a bit. Nope, I didn't want to edit the document. Press undo. Press undo. There we go. I'm going to tell you a joke. Copilot. That's the joke. Laugh. So I mean, you can get some work done on here. But I mean, you can also get some work done on your phone. That was a bit of a letdown, but we have to keep rolling. So let's take a look at the camera. Compared to its older first-gen brother, the Surface Duo 2 has got 3 extra cameras on the back. A 12 megapixel main camera, a 2x telephoto camera, and a 16 megapixel ultra-wide camera. And they all look average. Sorry to spoil the photo results, but yeah, these cameras still look very average, and the amount of space they take up on the back is really not worth it. The Surface Duo really wasn't a device for taking photos. They tried with the Surface Duo 2, but the camera quality still isn't that good, so I still wouldn't even recommend it. But because it's a dual screen folding phone, the camera taking experience is very unique compared to other phones. The original Surface Duo basically had one camera that did it all. You could use it as a front-facing camera, then you could flip the device over, switch your screen, and use it as a really crappy rear-facing camera. Now you can still do this on the Surface Duo 2, but you have real rear-facing cameras this time, so there's not really a point besides convenience, because it means that you don't actually have to open up the device. But with the Surface Duo 2, you basically have to open up the device to use the rear cameras. But at least you get a very nifty live preview on the other screen as you're taking photos, so it's actually a pretty decent photo taking experience. You can even just set the device down, open it up to the angle that you want, and now the phone basically has a built-in stand, no tripod required. But you're not going to be doing any of this because the camera quality sucks. How bad, I hear you ask? Well, why don't you have a look at these photos? Well, those were the cameras, but isn't there something that we've forgotten to do with this device? Because this is a dual screen device. You know what this reminds me of? A Nintendo DS. What if we could potentially turn this thing into one of the best DS emulation experiences of all time? Here we're gonna open up Melon DS, and then we're gonna take this and bring it full screen. We're gonna go portrait, like so. Let's tap New Super Mario Bros. And here we are. Now we have a big Nintendo DS. Now some people have actually managed to take this a step further by actually getting stuff like Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons and attaching it to the bottom. And then when you do that, this thing really becomes a Nintendo DS experience. But I don't have these connected and I don't have anything to attach them, so we're just gonna play with the touchscreen, which is suboptimal, but it's still fun. Without further ado, let's go. Go Ouija indeed. Oh no, Luigi's not liking the high resolution. Yeah, one problem is, using a touchscreen I can't really run and jump at the same time reliably. This is how your little siblings play the game when they first pick up a DS. See, we can even grab the star coin. Nintendo appeals to casual gamers. They know that some people don't know how to use the run button. I promise I'm really not this bad at the game normally, it's just I don't have a working run button. I mean, I could do that, but yeah. Very simple. Let's do this World 1 castle. I know this game and pretty much every level off the back of my hand. This is literally my childhood right here. Some of y'all grew up with Super Mario World. I grew up with New Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS. Gotta run. We can still wall jump, which is good. I'm gonna actually go for that star coin because it's, you know, really easy. It's World 1. These are World 1 levels. Now I do know I can go for the cannon, but I actually don't have a blue shell, so I can't. Bring back the blue shell, Nintendo, please. We miss it. We don't want to fall into the spikes. Oh no. Okay, here we go. The next challenge. We don't want to get squished. Ah, look at that. By the way, if you go into this spot here, you'll actually go into the secret room that'll let you go to the cannon. But you need to have a blue shell because you have to break some bricks.
Here we go.
I always love how they just shove two enemies inside of here like some ROM hack level. Here he is. He's red. He's angry because of the graphics issues. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I did not mean to do that. No, come on. Wait, can we just do the... Yeah, we could just do that. This is one of the easiest boss fights ever. You could literally just spam fireballs before he even gets to you and he'll just die. But, yeah. Since we have a massive, lovely touchscreen on the bottom, let's play some of the mini games. Now, this was the absolute jam back in the day. Get some of your friends together and just play the mini games. And what better mini games to play than the Luigi Casino mini games? Okay, let's go. And now it just feels like we're playing a regular mobile game. I would love someone to port this natively to Android so we could just play this without using an emulator. Hold on. We can get the true Nintendo DS experience because we got stylus support. Let's go. Oh my god. Wow, this really is the best DS emulation experience you could ever get. How many Luigis we got? God damn. Have I stuffed this up? I think I have. No, there's like... No. Aw, man. But this game was my jam. I'm usually really good at this. You know what? Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. You know what else is a really good minigame? The segregation one. We gotta sort out these bomb-oms by color. Okay, I will say it's not very accurate. You can also play 3DS games on here as well if you want something more advanced than DS games. You can literally see me trying and it's just not working. Okay, we're gonna use my finger. You have to kind of get the rhythm or else you will screw up very fast. Oh, that was close. I nearly got that wrong. Uh-oh. Okay, good. It's gonna do that soon with the pink ones if I get enough of them. Ah, perfect. God, I love these old mini games. Oh, yep, they changed the pattern. Nope. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, that was close. Uh-oh. Now they're spitting out real fast, and soon they're going to start spitting out even more, and it's going to make it harder and harder until I lose. Oh, hold on. Okay, well... okay, it gives us a moment to breathe. Holy crap, there's like 8 on the screen now. 7. And I put that one there. Oh no, this is where it gets absolutely out of control. Nah, we are done. Oh, get that in, get that in. Okay, it's all about now yep, I stuffed that up. But it was about finding which one was about to blow up. That's a pretty good effort, if I do say so myself. But yeah, if you want a really nifty way to play DS games, this is probably one of the best ways to play DS games. And if you just buy a little accessory to permanently attach some controllers to the device, you could have quite literally the best DS emulation experience ever, in my opinion. And then when you're done, oh, it doesn't say bye-bye. If we do this, yeah, like that. Bye-bye. And that, my friends, is the Surface Duo 2. A very nifty but flawed little device. On one hand, I absolutely love the form factor of the Surface Duo 2 and the risk that Microsoft took to actually make this, and especially a sequel to a commercial failure. But on the other hand, man, using Android on this thing kinda sucks. It's so buggy to operate. I really don't think Microsoft did a good job optimizing this thing, but also it's just the limitations of Android as well. It's not really built for screens like this. Oh my god, it's bugged. Microsoft Launcher isn't responding. Gee whiz, man, come on, brother. Look at this. Not sure if you can see what's going on. Look at this. What is happening? Oh my god, wow. I'm getting so many bugs just trying to film this little intro segment here, jeez. And as I say that, one of the displays can't recognize that it's open at the moment and it's just displaying a black screen. What happens if I turn it off and on again? Oh, that's figured it out. But hey, I still think it's really cool nonetheless. Don't do that too hard or else you're going to end up shattering the displays, which would be pretty devastating. Some parts of the Surface Duo 2 are worse than the Surface Duo 1, such as the camera bump, which makes it so that you can't even fold it properly and then the device just becomes a bit weird to hold and use. But other than that, it's a fairly decent follow-up to the first gen model. But did you know that this isn't Microsoft's first attempt at a dual screen device? Here I have a little presentation of other Microsoft devices that have 2 screens on them. The Microsoft Courier in 2010. This guy here looks a lot like the Surface Duo, doesn't it? Especially with the pen, which the Surface Duo 2 did end up getting. Next up, in 2018, we have the Surface Andromeda. It basically was an early version of the Surface Duo, and the operating system that this thing ran actually leaked online, so you can actually use it for yourself. I recommend checking out some other videos that other creators have done on this device and the operating system it ran. It's actually pretty interesting. But this right here is what Microsoft attempted right after the death of the Windows Phone. And then it ended up turning into this, which was also a bit of a failure. Good job, Microsoft. Next up, of course, we have the Surface Neo. This device was literally announced by Microsoft and then never released. They were even developing a special version of Windows for this thing, Windows 10X, which turned into Windows 11, so it wasn't a complete loss, but at the same time, yes it was, because it was basically just a big Surface Duo. But I think something like this, of course it would have been prohibitively expensive, would have actually done quite well. We actually have laptops like this on the market right now that are similar. And especially with that magnetic attaching keyboard, I think this thing would have been really cool, and it's a damn shame Microsoft didn't release it. So that's the stuff that came before the Surface Duo 2, but what about the stuff that was meant to come after the Surface Duo 2? After the Surface Duo 2 release, Microsoft started developing the Surface Chronos, which would have likely been a code name. But this phone was essentially just a budget version of the Surface Duo 2. It was made of plastic, had one less camera, and yeah, that's really about it. Not sure if there's any working prototypes, but looks like a pretty cool little device. I honestly think a budget model of the Surface Duo 2 with a cheaper price and a plastic body would have actually been pretty cool, and might have actually gotten more people to buy this damn thing. Unfortunately though, it was cancelled. And finally, we have this. This right here is a patent that Microsoft filed, and people believe this patent here to be the Surface Duo 3. And according to the patent, the Surface Duo 3 would have been a folding phone, just like a Samsung Galaxy Fold, which is kinda cool seeing a folding phone from Microsoft, but also not cool because the Surface Duo would have lost a little bit of its identity by that time. It's not a Duo anymore, it's one display on the inside that folds. I mean, I guess there's also an external display, so eh. But this product never made it that far in development, and we never got to see the Surface Duo 3. I honestly think that one of the biggest letdowns of the Surface Duo is the fact that it runs Android. This thing would have been so much cooler running Windows, and especially with pen support and Windows on ARM, this thing would have actually been a pretty cromulent experience. See, Microsoft could very much just release phones running desktop Windows. Like, it supports cellular, it's possible, they can do it, they just choose not to and it's such a shame. But running Windows on the Surface Duo 2, now wouldn't that be an interesting video idea? Stay tuned, and of course get subscribed so you don't miss it. My name is Frogfidok, you can say that however you want, I really don't care, new videos whenever I like. Consider becoming a channel member like all these people on the screen have. You get some bonus videos, early access to my upcoming videos, custom Discord server roles, and your very own Minecraft server, all rolled into one. Starts at $1 a month. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the end of the video, thanks for watching.